Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to solve hIndex. So first of all, I think the most important part is understanding a problem statement because it might be confusing. So first of all, we have a array. Given an array of citations, each citation is a non-negative integer of a researcher. Write a function to compute the researcher's hIndex. Okay, according to the definition of hIndex on Wikipedia, so they have provided a link to Wikipedia article. So if you want to read further about hIndex, you can read on Wikipedia page. A scientist has index h if h of his slash her n papers have at least h citations each, and other n of n minus h papers have no more than h citations each. So okay, when we read this statement, I think it's confusing. So instead of trying to explain what an h index is, I can just try to explain what we are exactly going to do in this problem, and what is it that we have to find exactly. So for example, we have an array, so we have to find a number, a maximum number, for example 3 here, because when we choose 3 we have 6 and 5. If we choose 3 as our h index, we have 6 and we have total 3 numbers, 3, 6 and 5, which are greater than or the equal to our h index. And h index doesn't necessarily have to be in our array. Okay, so that's an important point you have to remember. H index doesn't have to be in our given array. In this example, our h index was 3 because there are 3 such papers or citations whose value is greater than or equal to 3, and other n minus h papers have no more than h citations, means they have less than h citations, which is less than 3 in this case. So 0 and 1. So let's look at their explanation as well. 30615 means the researcher has 5 papers in total and each of them had received 3, 0, 6, 1 and 5 citations respectively. Since the researcher has 3 papers with at least 3 citations each and the remaining 2 with no more than 3 citations each, her H index is 3. Note, if there are several possible values for H index, the maximum one is taken as the H index, as I said, because if you think about it, you can, no, actually in this example we don't have more than one h index, but it is possible to have more than one h index, but in this case we have a single h index, like we have 3. So if the problem statement is still not clear, I think it's a little tough to explain it without a whiteboard. I would suggest you to read a bit more about hIndex on Wikipedia. First, let's have a look at our solution. So, first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to create an integer array. Integer buckets is equals to new int n plus 1, and I know we don't have a variable n. We will just create it. Integer n is equals to citations dot length, and now for integer elements in citations, if our element is greater than or equal to n, that is size of our array, citations array, then buckets of n plus plus. So what we are doing here is, if we are just counting the number of citations which have which are values which have values greater than or equal to or size of the array. For example, in this particular case it would be 6 and 5, and then For everything else we would do buckets of c buckets of element plus plus. And yeah, that's it for this loop. And then we will have integer count is equals to 0, and then for integer I is equals to n, I is greater than or equal to 0, and I plus plus uh, count plus equals to buckets of I, and then if our count is greater than or equal to I, we just return I, and if we don't get I, we just return 0. So let's run our code. Okay, index out of bound. Can spot my mistake. I, instead of I minus minus, I was incrementing I, so of course it would be index out of bound. And now let's see. Yeah, so we got the right answer. And now let's submit our code. Pending, judging, and accepted. So yeah, so that was it. So thanks for watching my video. If you have any doubts, please drop them down in the comments. I if I mean, at least I will try to provide other videos which are focused more on explaining the problem and less on solution. So yeah, we'll meet in my next video. Thank you.